Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys. I'm your host, Matt Marrero.
And this is Anthony St. Andrews.
Yes, and so I don't know if Blog Talk Radio will be able to cut out some of the, because sometimes they do cut out the silence. Basically what happened was there's an issue right now with my home phone, which is just fine because I stopped calling, right? Like I literally, I X'd out as if, oh good God, computers. I just ended the call, right, because my home phone was having some issues, and now I'm calling from a cell phone, right? Everything should be fine, except that Blog Talk Radio is still registering my home phone as the host phone.
Oh.
So as I'm calling in with the cell phone, it's saying, sorry, the host is still in, even though I use my home phone, and I'm literally hearing that the dial tone is there. So in other words, it's not still in.
Mm-hmm.
So I now had to call in as a guest to my own show. That then fucking begins, everyone.
This is some next level shit going down right now.
Yeah, and of course here you are, Anthony.
Yeah.
You are also a guest on my own show, but you are higher than me as a guest.
Did the day finally come?
Also, what's hilarious is I can't even X out of the host. Like, I can X out guests, but I can't X out the host, even though I am the host from the host computer. It's just a whole fucking thing right now. The point is that Batman Begins didn't suck, and that's very interesting to me.
I also want to add that your explanation fit perfectly, considering we're discussing a Chris Nolan film.
What?
How you're the host, but you can't cancel out the host, which is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just Christopher Nolan films always have fucking tech problems.
Every time.
Yeah. So anyway, this movie, if anyone forgot, came out in 2005, not that long ago.
Mhm.
Now, I know some might say 11 years ago, but here's the interesting thing, right? I was having a discussion with a coworker, speech and debate. That's where I work. So we have states tournament coming up this weekend, and for New York at least. So here's what's interesting, right? I was talking to him, and he said, man, that Batman Nolan series, that happened such a long time ago. It ended in 2012.
Mhm.
No, it's just funny to think about it. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, didn't end. So, it's interestingly enough, as we're doing this to kind of prep ourselves for Batman versus Superman, it is interesting, to kind of see this film, and because I haven't seen this film for years. So, of course, the one that everyone has seen, without even seeing Begins, is, of course, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Right? And I really liked that one a lot. I thought it was my favorite out of the three until I revisited Batman Begins, and I realized after... Now, in no way am I saying you just have to be a Batman fan to understand it, guys. You got to read the comics, okay? But after not being 12, right? Because when I first watched it, I was 13, and I was, in theory, a little shit. So in growing up and in actually reading the comic books, I actually do have an appreciation for Batman Begins more so than I did when I was 13.
Mhm.
So I think this is potentially one of, I don't know if I should say the best Batman film ever made because, what's interesting, right? We had Batman 1989, which I really enjoyed a lot, right?
Yeah.
But because of what they did with Joker, not so much believe me, a lot of things I love about the Joker, and I think we're on point. But when it comes to making him Batman's, the person who killed Batman's parents, felt a little off to me.
Definitely.
So I think this might be the best Batman film? Live action?
In my opinion, definitely. I mean, like you said, everyone's immediate go-to for this trilogy is The Dark Knight. And in no way am I saying it was a bad movie, but I find myself constantly when I rewatch them, I can sit through Batman Begins in one sitting. The Dark Knight, I find myself just stopping halfway through and then picking it up at a later time. I
don't know if I found myself stopping The Dark Knight, but this Batman Begins, I had to stop because I had to go to work. But watching it, though, I really did enjoy it. Looking at it, seeing Batman, or rather Bruce Wayne, training and, having this time away from Gotham. And then when he returns, I think it was too, by the way, the fact that when I was a kid, or when I was younger, I just wanted him to be Batman already.
Oh, I see
because I had seen Batman elsewhere and seen the origin elsewhere. I will admit though, they did do the scene where his parents got shot. That was a bit too long.
Yeah.
They did focus on it a bit too much. Also, this is good and bad, right? In some cases it was good in the movie. In some cases I think I would have preferred no filters.
Mhm.
Which means something, because everyone thinks of Batman as this dark, like everyone thinks that, at least not everyone, but I know a decent amount of people when they think of, these filters on Man of Steel, and I don't know if they were on Batman versus Superman. You said they got rid of them a little bit. But still, those filters, you think of them starting from the Nolan series, and that's not the case.
Not at all.
Actually. No. So we actually got to see things called colors in this movie. Yeah, no, colors, feeling like colors just stopped existing in Man of Steel. No, colors exist here. And it was done so well.
Yeah.
But, I say that, it sounds like I'm kidding, but I'm being honest, because at certain points I felt Gotham was too bright.
Mhm.
Especially when Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. I mean, the way it was shot and everything, there was just too much light. It had to be darker, and it was so interesting to think, like, man, if only we had flipped the filters. Right? If Superman had looked so bright and so, shining and hopeful. But no, I thought freaking Alfred gave me more hope than Pa Kent did.
Oh my!
I want everyone to understand that. Now, I'm not saying that Alfred should be a jerk or anything, but I still, like, Alfred gave me more hope than Pa Kent. Like, it was nuts when you think about it.
Definitely.
So, but anyway, so you enjoyed this film, yes?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Question: what did you feel about Bale's performance as Batman? And Bruce. Two separate people, of course.
For this particular movie in general, or just overall?
This particular movie.
I thought for this movie, it was, out of the three movies, I think this was the one where he felt the most Batman to me. Like, the other ones, it kind of, I don't know how to describe it really, but he kind of lost the Batman aspect. It was kind of, I know the whole premise of this trilogy is they're trying to go for a real world Batman. But this one felt like it had more of a comic Batman injected with the real world, whereas the other two kind of just, the comic book aspect took a backseat with Batman in particular. Bruce Wayne, I liked, and I also didn't like. I thought it was a good Bruce Wayne, but I wanted to kind of see a bit more done with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, well, it's funny, though, because I don't want to say that I want to see more of Bruce Wayne in this film. I think because I know what happened in the other two, that I'm like, this was a lot of Bruce Wayne, and it felt good.
No, I don't mean I want to see more of the character Bruce Wayne. I wanted to see more done with him in the scenes he was in.
I'm sorry, more of what?
More like done with the character in the scenes he was in, not like more scenes of him.
Oh, okay. Yes, no, because after seeing the latest two films in the Nolan trilogy, i.e. the only other two, right? Like, what do you mean? Are there more coming? There are no more coming. It really feels like they just had so much Bruce Wayne, but in a good way, because I know that some might say, oh, but you're done establishing the character, now you can get to the good old fighting. But it's not like Iron Man and Tony Stark or Captain America and Captain America. When is he not Captain America? And that's the thing. You look at a lot of Marvel heroes. It would be like saying, oh, the next Hulk movie is just going to have him as Hulk 24/7. It's like, well, we have Banner. Right? So in this case, it's like, Batman and Bruce Wayne really are two different people.
Yeah.
So it's a little sad that we didn't really get, in later films, we didn't get enough Bruce Wayne. But thankfully, we got a lot of Bruce Wayne here, and that was good. Now, I have a question for you.
Sure.
It sounds really silly, but I feel like it's accurate. Bruce's clothes in the first flashback, do you think they looked a bit too common?
A bit.
It's interesting because, because I think in our heads we've seen so many comic book flashbacks where he's in those boy shorts, where they're kind of, you know what I mean? Like, he always looks so prim and proper, and he's just like, hey, I shopped at, it looks like he just went to shop at some discount store, and I was like, that's nice, but it's like, Bruce, what is he wearing? Is that off the rack? What is? By the way, I have to give credit where credit's due. Roz appeared in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that set an amazing tone for this film of, hey, shit's going to get done. And then it did. Shit did get done. Although here's the funny thing, right? I forgot that we were supposed to think that the Asian guy was Roz for a second.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I would have preferred that.
I
was
going to say the same thing, yeah.
I love Neeson to death, and his voice, I love, like, so in other words, if you told me Neeson voiced Roz from now to eternity, eternity because, you know, Lazarus Pit, I'd be fine with that, right? But, and I do like his Roz. It kind of feels racist after showing us the Asian guy as Roz, right? And Roz is technically meant to be Asian. I mean, he, you know, so in the comics he has some, you know, Asian features where it's like, oh, so he is Asian. And then it's like, oh, no. It is the white man. And I was like, ooh.
I was actually going to ask you that because they actually merged two characters. They merged Ra's al Ghul and Henry Ducard because in the comics they were two separate people. So I was going to ask you, would you have preferred Liam stay just Henry Ducard and live, or would you have preferred just Ra's, like Asian Ra's, just live through the whole thing?
It's interesting, right? Because it's funny in a way because, like, either way, it would have been a misuse of someone as prolific as Liam Neeson, in my opinion. Because either he dies, you die long, oh, God, you live long enough to become Roz, or you die and become the Ducard. So I feel, because the thing is, I feel like if you had him die early, it's like we wasted him. But if he had only been Ducard and lived, then we still would have wasted him.
Yeah.
So I understand their idea of, oh, no, but Neeson is so large as an actor and he's so great. Like, it would be amazing for him to be Roz. Then don't give me the Asian fellow.
Exactly.
Who I think would have been a great Roz. And you kind of, like, you didn't give him a lot of lines, so in a way, I guess it was kind of shitty foreshadowing. Like, maybe this other guy who's talking a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy is the real one. Because it's like Roz fucking got, like, what, 5 lines in total?
Basically.
Quote-unquote Roz got 5 lines. I laughed so hard when the old woman was just like, let me see if I have this correctly. And I was just like, when she said that, I was like, oh, fuck. She's like, let me see if I'm going to pronounce this. I'm like, I'm like, yes. Like, let me see. I think it's just one of those moments where you just want them to fuck with you completely. Like, you know that they're going to say Ra's al Ghul or Raj. I don't know why she pronounced it correctly. I was like, that's not how this game works. You're an old white lady. You don't pronounce when you are that old and that white. When you say, am I pronouncing this correctly? And when you say Ra's al Ghul, you're supposed to say blah. Is that what it is?
That was very close, but not quite.
Yeah, no, it's just, I'm sorry, Ra's al Ghul? Getting there. You're getting there, woman.
I'll introduce myself, thank you.
Raise, that's how you say it. Ninjas kill her. Just fucking... But seriously, though, like, I was saying, this is one of those moments, though, they really should have messed with you. Just be like, it's Joker?
Oh, my God.
It's a beautiful name. It's Robin, for fuck's sakes. You have a beautiful name, Nightwing. No, we can't make those jokes now. We have to make them later. We have to make them in the third movie. By the way, so I mentioned Alfred was uplifting, but to be fair, let's be honest. Alfred is always supposed to be uplifting, right? Even if he's a jerk, he's an uplifting jerk, right?
Oh, of course.
So let's not talk about Alfred. It's Thomas Wayne that I think was such, like you would think, now even though I know Thomas Wayne's supposed to be nice and then it's the death that turns Batman, but you would think this is the movie where Goyer and Nolan are like, yeah, no, he should be an asshole because Batman, is essentially, I don't kill anyone. I just make sure to cripple the fuck out of you. Like, if you could walk in the morning, call me, and I'll be back. That's his mentality, right? So you would think, a deep, dark, Edgar Allan Poe-loving dad would be the one reading him bedtime stories. And no, his dad's like, you know why we fall, Bruce? And I was sitting there, and it's like, to not save a bunch of kids on a bus. Is that why we fall? I didn't know why we fall, and then it's like because we can get back up. I was like, oh wow, that's so nice.
Is it too late for you to be recast as Pa Kent?
Yeah, right. Like it's just digitally edited him in. But everyone's like, you can't do that. Just Lucas in the back. I can try. I think I can do it. We don't need your services, George. You want a tauntaun? No, we don't want a tauntaun in there, George. Damn it, you already put in a tauntaun.
I can digitally insert Patrick Warburton on a tauntaun. You want me to do it?
I don't. We don't think. And now there's the AT&T. Why is that? Why is that in the background? We didn't want that in Man of Steel. Now it's in Man of Steel. All right, thanks, guys.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, but anyway, so by the way, are really nice, again, interesting, like uplifting scenes, and they're weird because again they shouldn't be here, right? I mean, the Waynes just riding the subway,
yeah,
just being normal people in a way because they want to be grounded, even though mind you they're in a subway that's riding in the sky, but it's still great. Now, how did you feel about the play? Because obviously the play is different. You know, they changed it, right? At least from what I remember. How do you feel about the play instead of the movie being Zorro?
I'm really split on that, actually. Because I like the fact that it played into his fear of bats, but at the same time, I thought it was a bit heavy-handed with the bats and everything.
It's funny, because it's like, yeah, basically, just you know, just, hey, Mom, Dad, I have a fear of bats. Like,
are you okay, son? I'm fine.
Yeah, it was a bit too heavy-handed, but what I do, here's the thing, right? I think that because there was no even mention of Zorro or no poster for Zorro, I think that was the issue to me, where, you know, I'm cool with not having it be Zorro because it's kind of up. It's funny, though. In my head, there are a modern update. Opera bats? Shut the fuck up, I like theater. Modern. But, it's a bit more modern, I guess, than Zorro. Unless they were going to cast Antonio Banderas, which I think would have been great.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now that would have been amazing and not a waste of Antonio Banderas' talent.
No.
But yeah, so I understand no Zorro, but it does feel a little awkward because, well, it plays into the fear of bats. You know, Zorro was a masked hero. So that's where that would come in. Like, in a weird way, the masked hero, you know, is the way kids want to emulate Batman now, just as, you know, a hero. They look at Batman, Superman, they want to emulate them. It would be awkward if, like, you know, a kid just saw a bat and they would be like, I will dress up as the bat. You know? So, now, mind you, it's always going to be awkward and basically, you know, a mental breakdown. But when you include the character of Zorro, it turns into, yes, because you're molding it into, like, you're molding the two together.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, so moving on. So let's talk about Joe Chill for a second.
All right.
Just character design. I would have preferred that he had blue eyes.
You too, huh?
Yeah, he just looked too common. Like, he didn't look stone cold. Now, I think they were trying to go for a common, you know, look about him, I guess. But he didn't look like, he just looked like some guy just walking around.
Yeah, I think there could have definitely been something a bit more defining about him.
Yeah. But, you know, and also, of course, immediately he's found, which is real. Like, let's be honest, just like in Man of Steel, certain things we see and we're like, oh, that makes sense, that's quote-unquote real. But it's a little awkward. It's a little awkward because, you know, we have, like, I think what they were trying to go for with the whole, and he's in jail, but he's testifying, but he gets shot by someone who isn't Bruce. I think they were trying to go for you're never going to get closure because that's how life works. But mind you, we are watching a movie where a man gets to dress up like a bat anyway. So I think we can have a nice little, not even storybook ending. Just the fact that he wouldn't have been caught. You know, had he not been caught, that could have left some mystery and potential storylines for later over the 3 films. It was just so interesting that, you know, like, I think this started the trend of the idea that a villain, when they're captured, or just a villain in general, will be killed. There is no hope for said villain. Like, even though this is going to be a franchise, that villain will die.
Pretty much.
Now, it's interesting, too, because I do want to mention, it's not a complete, what is it? Like, it's been happening earlier than, it's not like Batman Begins is the only movie that ever started the whole, we're going to kill the villain. But funnily enough, though, the only one I can think of, at least off the top of my head, right, is Blade.
Which one?
Blade.
Oh, okay.
which was also written by Goyer. So when you think about it, you're like, wait a minute, no, not a trend, just Goyer.
I mean, even in the original Batman, I mean, not 66, but 1989, the Joker dies at the end.
That is true. Yeah, that is true, to be fair. Yeah, in 89, yeah. All right, so I guess for some reason when you look at Batman, it's like, no, the villain must die. But again, it's not just, it's, I say started the whole trend, if you will, because, Man of Steel.
Oh, no, yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen to Lex Luthor, but by God, probably something awful, and it'll make me sad. If not, Doomsday, probably something awful, that's going to make me sad. It's going to be so funny. Like, just, I'm weeping over the villains.
I was about to question that.
It's like, no, how could you die? The entire fucking city behind them is crumbling. Every other hero has died. I'm just holding Darkseid. How? Why? Pourquoi? But yeah, it's just, so yeah, I don't know. Like, do you enjoy what they did with, Joe Chill? Do you think that, like, I understand that it was used to push Bruce further.
Mm-hmm.
And not make him a murderer outright.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like how do you feel about it? The idea of this no closure for Bruce, and kind of just being a bit more, not even open-ended because he's dead. Like, unless we're getting a fucking Joe Chill superhero spinoff, he's pretty dead.
I actually found it kind of fitting for Bruce. I mean, because if you think about it, the whole thing with Batman, that if, like, I'm not to sound like that kind of guy, but if you read the comics, the guy never gets a break. So I found it kind of fitting that he gets no closure with this, and that, like you said, it pushes him further. So I think it was a good choice to do that.
Okay. Because in my head, it feels like it would have been better to give him closure by catching the guy himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he's caught Joe himself in the comics, I think, very long time ago.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like he's been looking for Joe for a very long time in the comics, like a very, very long time ago. And then he found him, and then it's like, gotcha. And then it was kind of like the whole moral quandary of, do I kill you fast, do I kill you slow?
Mm-hmm.
Or at all? Shut the fuck up, Joe. So it was kind of that moral quandary where now it's just like, he was ready to kill him, and it's like, oh no. But it's interesting though because he didn't choose not to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
He just got beaten to the punch, like.
Exactly.
Which is also a little like awkward in a way, where like if you're gonna sit there and go, oh, but there's a lesson to be learned there. Yeah, apparently be quicker. Early bird gets the worm. Early bird kills his parents' killer. Like Bruce is sitting there. The problem is I was late.
I need to get to these crimes sooner.
If I am going to be judge, jury, and executioner, I must be swift.
Like the night.
Good God. So yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I can see your point, but it felt a little awkward to me, I guess, because I wanted to see potential. It's basically just the idea that we also have Roz dying, and you just want to see Roz later. You know what I'm saying? Like even though okay, there's not going to be 6 of these, but if they had done the 3, and then potentially wanted a 4th, it would have been cool to have Roz around or, some other people around. And now, I mean, it's funny. We all know that Roz appeared a sort of later-ish, but not really, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, he died here. It's fucking
No,
dead.
I agree. I definitely wanted Roz to live in this movie.
Yeah. But, so moving on, let's see something else. I liked the casting for Falcone better in the show Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dislike this actor. I think it's sad to say, basing it on looks, I just really enjoyed, and just the way he spoke. I enjoyed Falcone, his casting in the show Gotham, a little bit more than here.
Definitely.
I think it's the actor. And again, it's funny. You just said it wasn't the actor. No, but something about the actor in the show really stands out. It makes you think, that's Falcone. Or, Falcone, whatever you want to pronounce it as. That's him.
Definitely. Like, this is the first time I've seen the movie since I started Gotham. And it made me really realize, like, wow, Gotham Falcone is a little better than this guy.
Yes. So when Roz and Christian Bale were training something about that. I don't know why. I just sat there and I was like, The Last Samurai 2, Christian Bale edition.
I love that training montage so much.
I have a question. Was Tom Cruise in the running to play Batman?
No, actually.
Damn, because looking at that, like, seriously, I was just like, seeing him in the armor, I was like, Mr. Cruise, is that you?
No, I don't think so. As far as I know, the only superhero he was in the running for was Iron Man.
Wow. That would have been good.
Mhm.
Now, everything about Robert Downey Jr. fits, but that would have been good, actually.
Mhm.
Wow, little Mission Impossible Iron Man? That would have been good. Huh. Oh, well, there's an alternate universe right now where that's actually happening. Okay. So we actually had the huge fight, literally not even an hour into the movie.
Mhm.
Again, just getting done.
Yeah.
Right? Really, no, it really made me happy having that huge ninja battle, and Wayne escaping from it. He saves Ducard, if you will, Roz. But yeah, it was very interesting to see that happen to the League of Shadows, especially again so early in the film. But and I know some might think it was rushed, but honestly, I prefer this over a full League of Shadows film.
Definitely.
Nothing wrong with League of Shadows. And hell, if we went back to retrain later or something, or we had it reveal that he had to stay there for half of a movie because, we bring up Talia or whoever else, little tiny Damien, sure. But I think for the first movie, it would have really been a bit of a sleeper, I think. Or, no, sleeper is a bad word. Boring. I'll say it. Boring.
The B word.
Yeah, right. If he stayed there the entire film.
Mm.
Yes. Also, this is how you do collateral damage right. Not only is Bruce Wayne not an alien god, right, but he's trying to save at least one person. He can't do anything about a lot of explosions,
Mhm.
Like, all that happened, right, was that, Bruce Wayne was there, the place is, blowing up because he set everything off. He clearly was working with Michael Bay, and he had to get out. He had to get out real quick. And just like Shia LaBeouf in Transformers 3, although funnily enough, at least Bruce Wayne trained. Shia LaBeouf just fucking slid down a goddamn office building.
Jesus Christ.
You remember that, don't you?
Unfortunately.
If anyone didn't see Transformers 3, keep up the streak. You've been going a couple years strong. Just keep it going. Of course. Okay, so I love many of the incarnations of Alfred, both off screen and animated. But I really do enjoy Michael Caine's version of Alfred.
Me too.
I enjoy it a lot. There's something about it just seems very warm and loving, but definitely, slap you over the nose with a rolled up newspaper. If you need to get your back in line.
No, of course. I love his sarcasm too. I love it when Alfred has sarcasm.
No, it's perfect, and it's not too much. Like, it's not too much of like a, I'm beating you down.
Exactly.
It's just enough to show like, hey, you fucked up. The one thing I don't like, interestingly enough, I want to know how you feel about this. I don't like this version of Dr. Crane.
Really?
Let me explain. I don't like it because I love it. Now hear me out. He's too smooth and he's too calm and collected. He looks too good and fits in too well. He doesn't feel like an outcast. Not really.
Okay.
That's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love the actor. I love what he brought to the role. And I love this version of Dr. Crane, but not as an adaptation of Dr. Crane.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't feel like it's Scarecrow. And now maybe, right, Nolan was going for more of the antithesis for Bruce, right, and wanted him to look a little bit similar. But in my opinion, went a little bit too Norman Beatty for both characters, which is kind of funny. Well, Norman Bateman, but it's kind of funny because, well, how you doing? How you doing, Bale? But
no, I mistook the name. You said Norman Bateman or Patrick Bateman?
Patrick, that's what I said. What the fuck is wrong with you, Anthony? Shit, I fucked up there. But anyway, what matters is that, look, I just saw American Psycho yesterday, okay? Which is completely on me. I need to see this years ago. But American Psycho, yeah, you can tell that after seeing American Psycho. Like, okay, because here's the thing, right? Also looking at something like Spider-Man, right? You always wonder, I wonder what movie, like, that potentially the, creators of the Spider-Man film, Raimi and many others, saw that thought, we should cast Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, right? So in Batman, you also think, man, I wonder what movie they thought, we should cast Christian Bale as Batman. Well, in my personal opinion, American Psycho was that movie for Bale.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, somebody saw American Psycho and was like, and then eventually had a cast for Batman and thought, let's fucking get that guy. And in terms of, talking about Spider-Man, right? In my opinion, it's Pleasantville. Not sure if you've seen it.
Actually, no.
Damn. If you see Pleasantville, you can see, like, wow, that's basically Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And then, of course, Tobey Maguire got old in the meantime and also bulkier. And then it's like, you're not a teenager. You're in your late 30s. I'm kidding, early 30s, but still. Anyway, but the point is that looking at, Bale here, definitely very much Bateman. Like, you can tell, like, okay, yeah, make him a bit like Bateman. Not too much because no serial killer stuff. But still, the point is when I look at, Crane, I see Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that's trying to fit in, or at least try to seem like, but then, of course, it's like the secret underbelly. Right?
I could see that,
which technically is Gotham all around. But anyway, so that's what I kind of saw, and I don't know, I didn't really enjoy, Crane as the potential antithesis in looks. I prefer him, like, because the thing is, right, you can have them both be similar, but like in, different, they look different, but they act similar, if you will, right? But the problem is, I felt like he just looked too good. Like, that's my problem. Sorry, sir. You look really attractive. I'm so sorry. But, like, how do you feel? Because, I don't know, I feel like he was too attractive.
I mean, looking at it from that perspective, I kind of get that. But the thing is, I just love him as Scarecrow so much that I'm willing to look past it.
Yes. No, he's an amazing Scarecrow.
Like my favorite, the scene that really cemented him as Scarecrow, I forget where it is in the movie exactly. I'm pretty sure either middle or a little after that, is when Batman confronts him for the first time, and he hits him with the fear toxin, and he sees bats coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And then he lights him on fire. That, for me, was amazing.
Really? For me, what solidified him as Scarecrow is when he was hit with the taser.
Oh, okay. That works.
On the horse? Actually, fuck it. Just him coming out on a horse. I was like, that's fucking goddamn it. That is him.
Oh, no, that too. But considering, like, the bat out of the mouth thing happened first, I was like, oh, shit.
No, yes. No, I'm not saying I'm not saying that it wasn't, when he lit him on fire, I was like, holy fuck. But, but later on, I think it was just great because when I think of Scarecrow, I think of someone who's very much, okay, he needs the mask to become, like, I'm Scarecrow. But before that, he's very, like, meek and timid, and he's not, like, confident at all. So having him get hit with the fucking, with the taser and just having the horse running away and him going, ah! Like, I just laughed. I was like, yeah, that's fucking him. That's him. In a nutshell, that's Scarecrow, everybody. You're all wondering, who is Scarecrow? The one that got tased and then ran away screaming on a horse. On a horse of all things.
Oh, man.
Yes. So, by the way, so we all know, right, Alfred helps out Bruce to become Batman. Do you think he helped out a bit too much?
Just a bit.
Like, you know what it is? I think he helped out too much because we didn't know his background. Like, in the comics, we know, he used to be an actor, he is a war vet. So some of this stuff makes sense, I think, when you have that background.
Yeah, but just in the movie, they never really established that he's any more than just the butler.
Yes. Even in the second movie, when he starts talking about the war, I don't know if he mentioned he himself was in the war. I think he did, right? Didn't he say, like, oh, I was in Burma with your father? Did he do that in the second one?
He didn't even specify himself. He just said, I knew some boys back that were in Burma. Like, it's kind of implied that he was there, but he made it kind of sound like he just knew them.
Yeah, that's the weird thing I think about the film, is that in some ways they over-explain a little bit too much to you, where it's like they think you're a fucking idiot. Like, literally, I feel like they're going to say to you, hey, fucking idiot. But in other ways, it feels like they just leave it up to your, not interpretation, but like your potential comic book knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little off to me.
Definitely.
You know, I think, because like we know, and mind you, some of it felt, again, heartwarming, right? Like, oh, Alfred, thank you. Like, my heart really shouldn't be this warmed right now. Like, really, no, because like if we had shown a scene with Ma and Pa knitting fucking Superman or Clark Kent a Superman costume, I know that sewing a suit looks weird, but damn it, like, I think that would have just warmed my fucking soul. Yes. Oh, by the way, love the scene where Batman just beats up Falcone in his net.
Oh,
right?
My God, that scene is freaking amazing.
Question, though. So I love the outfit, right? Obviously, we love the Batman suit. But how do you feel about the cape?
In terms of the design or how they used it in the movie?
The design.
I thought it was okay. I mean, I didn't really have a problem with it. I like that they kind of explained how it maintains the shape through flight.
Yes. No, they definitely had some nice ways of, explaining the cape and all the other tech. I think it was very well done in that way. And I know they're just starting out, but for some reason, I don't know, the cape, I feel like it needs to be made out of leather. I just think it'll look better, especially on film, because it doesn't really attract any of the light. It just absorbs it, which I know it's not supposed to reflect light. I mean, he's basically supposed to be a ninja, but it looks too much like he can wear the cape as a blanket.
I did not think of that, but okay.
You see it, though, right? Like, the way the cloth used, it just looks like it's like...
thinking back, there was, like, one scene in particular where he's, like, on a gargoyle, and it's blowing over his whole body, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, no, it's like, Batman uses it for night-night. Batman loved Mama Martha.
It's strangely comfortable up here. It's like a fish doze off.
Oh, my God. It was just, it was, again, not a bad, like, you understand he's just starting out. So I'd rather that be his way of starting out instead of snapping people's necks. But whatever. Anyway, so moving on.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, man, but, I think I prefer, it's like, oh, look, his cape is a little bit off instead of Batman snap. But no, actually, before I want to talk about Batman's voice for a second. We've been making fun of it for this episode. We're making fun of it whenever we do a Batman show, really. But what I want to mention is, about, before his voice, I want to mention how he beat up those thugs. So, of course, he's taken his vow internally not to kill people. But, man, does he love to just injure heavily.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I know the human body is stronger than we think, but a lot of those would definitely result in at least breaking your leg.
Oh, easily.
The one I think that, it's funny, right? I'm about to talk about physics here. And this is fucking Batman we're talking about. The one I think that was really bad, though, was when he had that one prisoner on that, the line, and he kind of just, not prisoner, I'm sorry, that one criminal, and he kept on, like, hanging him up and down, up and down, up and down.
Oh, the corrupt cop, Flash.
Right, yes, thank you. Who, by the way, corrupt cop, we do not have we don't have Harvey in this movie.
We get Flash.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I was okay with it because, I mean, from what I understood, like, Gordon was still fairly new to Gotham. And in Batman Year One, he actually is partnered up with Flash before he ever meets Harvey Bullock. So I thought it actually was pretty consistent.
Okay, so then that worked. Yeah, because I forgot about him. I had Year One, but I forgot about that. So, all right, that works. So I guess we're good there. But, yeah, so we had him. He was hanging him upside down, and it felt strange because, like, even though we let him down gently, quote-unquote, still just the way of tugging at him like that, I was like, that's just going to rip his leg right off.
I mean, it won't snap his neck, but it'll rip his leg.
Yeah. Bad things would happen is the point. Here's the thing. I want to talk about Batman's voice, though.
Sure.
All right, so what do you think about it?
You want to know what's really funny? I didn't mind it so much in this movie.
Yeah, I think in this movie it was actually subdued, if you will.
It was really only used in, like, really key interrogation moments more than anything.
And even if it was used, I don't know, it didn't seem... Like, the first time I heard it, it was like, huh, huh. But when I kept on hearing it, I thought, oh, wait, actually, not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to in later movies where I think because they're a bit more, you know, the moments are a bit more tense, for some reason Bale and, you know, other people directing feel like he has to bring it even worse. So it's just, you know, what are you doing? And he's like fucking Scooby-Doo. And in this film, I think it was done very well.
Definitely.
One thing I enjoyed is the relationship between Lucius Fox and Alfred. I think it was nice because, you know, you see Lucius Fox going, oh, yes, you know, I knew your father. So, of course, later on, you know, Alfred's going to call Fox, and then Fox is like, Alfred, right? You know, just little things here and there. It's like, right. You know, they've known each other for years. There's an entire story that we don't know about that I think is so intriguing. There's an entire history that we just know nothing about because we're seeing this through Batman/Bruce Wayne's eyes.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, you know, how much his father has done for the city.
Oh, definitely. I like Lucius Fox in general as well, like all the little conversations he had with Bruce Wayne while he's picking out the gear and everything like that.
Yeah, especially because Lucius Fox knows.
Of course. Like, he even says, like, I'm not going to have to lie if you don't tell me what you're doing, but don't take me for an idiot.
Yeah. I loved it so much because it was just like, you know, like, no shit, you know, it's just rich guy who owns, you know, facility that makes, you know, random military weapons, wants to use set military weapons. The receptionist, the guy that he makes the weapons, obviously, but, like, he also lends them out. The guy at the front desk doesn't, you know.
Exactly.
Come the fuck out. Right? I mean, so I can understand. It's funny, though. Trying to make Batman more real, if you will, really does make you kind of sit there and have to think, though, and really know, like, hey, you know, I think it's fairly easy in this particular adaptation of, like, Gotham City to know that I think that's Bruce Wayne. It's funny, like, I don't know, maybe it's because, you know, back in the day, and I mean, like, way, way far back when this comic, you know, was originally coming out, like, in the 40s, it made sense, like, yeah, you know, who's that, right? But now it's, like, smartphones and everything. Even though they didn't have, like, the phones were still pretty, like, okay in 05, but still, I don't know, like, it feels like it's just, you know, like, Batman, you mean Bruce Wayne? No, why would it be, well, he kind of showed up, and then out of nowhere, no. So that's pretty much how it fucking happened.
Pretty much.
Yes. How do you feel about the character of, it's Rachel Dawes, right? That's what it is?
Yeah, Rachel.
How do you feel about her character and having Mrs. Not Cruz anymore, Katie Holmes? How do you feel about her playing the character?
It's funny because if we were talking about this movie before The Dark Knight came out, I wouldn't have had a problem with her, but after seeing Maggie Gyllenhaal playing the same character, I much prefer Maggie Gyllenhaal and think Katie Holmes was just a bit miscast.
Yes, I don't remember Maggie Gyllenhaal, but I do think she maybe brought a little bit more. Though again, that might just be the script itself. Where the script maybe, you know, called for something different in the second film. And because in the first film, she seems like a blank slate, if you will. Like she can be mad and everything, but it seems like she's mostly just like a very kind figure, and doesn't really provide much to the film, sadly. Then in the second film, I think there's more for her to do. But then, of course, sadly, we were unable to see Katie Holmes in the film to really, you know, judge like how she would have, you know, performed the character.
Yeah.
Also, I think after seeing American Psycho so close to Batman Begins, it's really fucking scary to see Bruce Wayne do push-ups. Like, it's really funny. Like, I was kind of waiting for just Batman having fucking Flash just hung, what are you saying? Are you a fan of Huey in the news?
I
have to admit, their early work, a little bit off, but they really got into the groove later on.
I know. I was waiting for the montage where he beats up villains to hip to be square.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God. Just, wait a minute. Is that a bat suit? It is Flash. Good fucking God. But what I think was really nice, and we need to see more of in the second and third film. We saw a little bit of it in the second film, but just a lot more, in my opinion. Bruce Wayne being the philanthropist, just this dude going around with, these two models, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just being, I am aloof. I am not the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I especially love the moment when he's at dinner with everyone, and they're just like, how do you feel about Batman? He's so stupid. He's like, what? Batman, who would do something for justice? Bruce, you okay? Fine, just need some water. But but seriously, it felt really nice to have stuff like that happen. I mean, we did have a dinner scene in the second film, but it was a bit different. I mean, I also have to rewatch The Dark Knight, but I don't know. I liked him more as this playboy because again, it's keeping up that character.
Yeah.
Where it felt a little bit lost in the in the other films.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I see, who's the actor that played Crane again?
I'm sorry?
Who played Crane?
I think the name is Cillian Murphy.
Yes, Cillian Murphy. Yeah, I'm looking at him right now talking to Falcone.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Falcone was just hilarious. Just, oh no, this world, it is very dreary. Everything is over. Like, but seeing Cillian Murphy, just like, you look too good, man. You look real good. Like, I don't know, anyways, he's just a stupid nerd. No, I'm a stupid nerd. He looks great. But yes, no, and the drugging scene, of course, was very well done. I think.
Oh, definitely.
The entire, I think a lot of the fear segments were the scariest things.
Oh, definitely.
In a good way. In a good way, because you want the fear toxin to freak you out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, of course, if it happens later, you see it ever again, of course Batman's trained for it. But at the time, he'd never experienced anything like it. So it was very interesting to see that affect him.
Definitely.
Yes. So I have a question, though. So later
Sure.
on, right, we see him summoning bats.
Mm.
How do you feel about that scene?
I wish they would have used that in the other movies. I thought that was so cool to see, actually.
Really? I agree and disagree.
Really?
It was aesthetically, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem, and I apologize, I don't want to be one of those people, but again, this is a movie that you're trying to tell me, no, but it's real. Imagine all the people that probably saw bats coming out of Wayne Manor.
Okay. Well,
you think about that one?
I'll give you that.
Because all the other potential bat hardware, could basically appear from other places that don't necessarily, because Wayne owns so much of the land. They can pop out of places that your average citizen might not be like, oh, isn't that near Wayne Manor? No, there's such a huge piece of land, in the general area. But when you look at the bats, just are those bats coming directly from Wayne Manor?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a cave that's literally connected to Wayne Manor.
It's underneath the southwest wing. It's Wayne Manor.
Literally, just Lucius Fox outside. I'm not lying, but that's some scary shit. The entire time, just cops come up to him. Look, I'm not lying. Just saying, this is what he took out. That's all I'm gonna say. Not
he
lying.
told me it was false spelunking.
Just Jesus Christ. You could do that. So, I have something interesting to point out. I want to see if you also saw this as well. So, obviously, we all know League of Shadows, Ra's al Ghul, been around for a very long time, right? However, their motivations in this film really felt like the Court of Owls in the New 52.
Oh, same. I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because now I know that the League of Shadows believes themselves to be on the side of justice, right? But I think of them more so as eco-terrorists. Now, they did obviously poison the water supply, so eco-terrorism, it happened. But I don't know, I never really thought of them as an entity or a force.
Mhm.
Like, I just thought of them as eco-terrorists.
Exactly.
Right? A group that can be, in theory, taken down. Now, granted, yes, Roz does have the Lazarus Pit, so he's been around forever.
Mhm.
But I didn't think of him as the whole, like, oh, when Gotham rises up, we come to bring it down. Like, it never occurred to me. I mean, I'm sure there's some comic book, lore that dictates that. It just never really occurred to me that he is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Especially because, and I guess this is, I understand this is the catch-22 of keeping villains alive, Batman always beats him.
Pretty much.
So it never actually occurred, like, right, yes, he's been around for centuries.
Mhm.
So it's very interesting that they gave him the role of, and I come in to break down the city. But sadly, your dad stopped that from happening.
Mhm.
Though the question is, by him saying that, is he inferring that they killed his parents, or is it really just saying, like, oh, your dad was doing that shit? Stuff.
I was wondering the same thing, actually, because I'm wondering if they actually paid off Joe Chill to do it.
Yeah, because it seems like it wasn't the case. Because why would Joe Chill have, ratted out Falcone then?
Exactly.
It felt very interesting. Like, I mean, again, I think maybe they were going for that, or maybe they were just going for him trash-talking because he knows that by talking, badly about his dad, he being Bruce, will completely be caught off guard.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know what they were going for there.
Mhm.
What I do know is Bruce Wayne reveals his identity to another woman.
Yay.
All right. We have 3 women on the stage. All right, Bruce, which one are you going to tell that you're Batman? Actually, joke's on them. I already told all 3. All right. Maybe you have some other hobbies? No? Okay. This is another edition of Bruce Wayne Tells Women He's Batman. Up next, 3 more contestants. Tomorrow, 3 more contestants, and they will also have already been told beforehand. Seriously, how many women know at this point? Like at least a dozen. At least maybe even a baker's dozen at this point.
Oh, Jesus.
It doesn't matter if they're dead. They knew at one point. There has to be at least 13 women that know.
Easily. He has the supermodels that he went swimming with as soon as he brought them home. By the way, you just went out with Batman.
They're sitting there, they're like, well, you are hanging upside down from a pole.
I just wanted to make it clear.
Oh, my God. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Now I just imagine he takes the supermodels home. So you're Christine and you're Samantha, okay?
Oh,
like literally
God.
Just names them. Let's not do this right now. No, but seriously though, right?
Have you seen my chainsaw? It's very nice.
Have what?
Have you seen my chainsaw? It's very nice.
Oh, good God, no. Have you seen my bat chainsaw? It's all fucking bat. My bat axe. So anyway, so he reveals his identity, right, to Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we just made that joke, because, dear God, there are a lot of people in the comics, and in the movies that he's revealed himself. Basically every movie, for the most part, right? Like, hasn't he pretty much every movie told a new girl, hey, I'm Batman?
And it's always very cryptic, too.
Really? Many of them just felt like straight up like, hey, I'm Batman.
Well, when I say cryptic, I mean like in a way that's not so obvious. Like in this one, it was like it's not what he basically quoted something that she told him and only him. Then I forget about The Dark Knight, but I know in The Dark Knight Rises, Commissioner Gordon looks at me because I never knew who you were, and he just pretty much sums up what Gordon did for him the night his parents were murdered, so he would know it's him. So. Right.
I think it would have been great if he says that to her, and she's like, John? How many people have you told that to? Bob?
I thought we had something special.
What?
I thought we had something special.
You're like, damn it, I'm Bruce. Bruce Johnson? Fuck you.
How many Bruces do you know?
Bruce Carmike? I'm fucking done. How many Bruces?
Good fucking luck to you, kid.
By the way, just the whole when she said Bruce, I know she said it very, very low, but there was a kid behind her. So it's like,
yeah.
Bruce, little kid, Bruce Wayne. She's like, she brings up the taser. I didn't want to do this, kid.
I misspoke. I didn't say Bruce
Remember,
Wayne.
we never see the kid later. That was the last time we saw that kid.
You are fucking terrible.
She had to kill him.
You're fucking terrible.
She had to kill that little kid, who looks like Joffrey, by the way.
It is.
It is?
Batman gave Joffrey a grappling gun.
Oh, my God. She has to kill Joffrey now. That'll make everything a lot easier. Turns out they were not in any kind of Middle Earth type kingdom. It's just a Game of Thrones has been taking place where that little kid moved in Pennsylvania, actually. He just moved to Pennsylvania. Mount Pocono, very much like Game of Thrones. You ever been up to? I have some family in Mount Pocono. They know the Starks. It's great. But seriously though, all jokes aside, right? Really like being very, very honest here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he told her, but for once he knew her for years.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually made sense. Like, I don't look. Maybe I'm wrong here, but thinking back to all the women he's ever told in film, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's known them for about a day, maybe a week.
Even less sometimes.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
Like, if we think back to the 89 Batman movie, he told Vicky they maybe knew each other for a total of 4 hours.
Really? I thought it was
it was over the course of a few days, but the time they actually spent together was barely 4 hours.
Okay, all right, I get you. Yeah, no, it's like he really wanted to get, like, it felt like he wasn't really opening up to be nice. Like, it felt like he just wanted to be bat-laid. Like, that's just what he wanted. Like, he didn't want to, like, he just wanted to be with a woman.
Yeah.
And then that was that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of, it felt weird, you know? Like, so here it was like, at least he's known her since childhood. I'm very happy they had that, you know, that connection there.
Definitely.
Because if not, it just would have been another woman that he just told, hey, by the way, I'm in it. So yes, I want to move on to, what is it? Oh yeah, one of the most BS parts of the film, in my opinion, the whole, I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you. How do you feel about that?
I didn't like that much, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you, which is essentially me killing you.
Basically, here's the thing, right? As much as I've complained about Man of Steel so much, at least he owned up to it. Like, he did it. Like, he snapped General Zod's neck. And sure, he's sad about it now, and I'm sure he regrets it now. I mean, he regretted it at the time. He didn't want to do it. But he still owned up to it and did it. Like, he wasn't like, actually, I didn't save Zod. I didn't kill him, but I also didn't save him. I moved my hands in a neck-snapping motion, and Zod did not move, which means that, look, Zod, I could have saved Zod by not snapping his neck, all right, but I didn't save him. So that makes, like, no, like, he owned up to, like, he did it, right? Like, fucking Batman is just, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. As he's flying away, I'm Batman.
Jesus Christ.
And also, by the way, look, I know technically in this movie Roz didn't know magic, but the fact that he didn't know enough magic or any kind of just tricks, just be like, so I'm on a falling train. Huh. I knew this. Like, literally fucking, I'm on a train in Gotham City, falling to my death. The soothsayer was correct. Interesting. Like, what the fuck? I was not a fan of that at all.
Not in the slightest bit.
No. And this, I mean, look, I'm understanding, like, there could have been ways for him to, like, if he actually gave, it's weird, because, like, he still comes off as crazy or evil no matter what, but it's like, I feel like a situation where it's just, you know, you can give someone, let's say, food enough to survive in the forest and be like, look, you're basically going to die here, but here's some food. You know, if you live, good. If you don't, then you're dead. That makes sense to me in a way.
Yeah.
but it does not make sense, at least in a Batman kind of sick, twisted, didn't kill you way. The same way that he beats up these villains, right? Or he beats up these criminals, and you sit there and you're like, they have to like be paralyzed, like from the waist down, right? But he didn't kill them, so like it's weird. They're really weird rules. But I think to this point it wasn't a rule. It was just you're trying to say that you're not a killer when you really are a killer. You're a fucking killer.
Yeah.
You know, like up until this point, I was like, this is collateral damage done well. Because did he quote unquote kill those ninjas? Like, in theory, yes, but he was unable to save them the way he saved Ducard/Boz, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, because if he could have, he would have saved them all. He just needed to get out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that I think, while some I can understand are saying, no, that's a bit worse than some of what we've heard from Batman versus Superman, or even in this movie, you know, and even in Dark Knight, where he's driving through and clearly there are some cars that are probably not evacuated, right, that might get a little bit explodey. But I feel like it's a bit different than just saying straight up like, oh, I'm not going to save you. And he just fucking ends up letting him fall. Like, literally, like, what the fuck is, you know what I mean? Like, what did he tell Alfred that night? Oh, I just didn't save him.
What do you mean you didn't save him? He's not around anymore.
Like,
he's kind of gone.
Like, it starts off with Alfred being really nice because he cares about him, and, you know, Thomas Wayne has entrusted his son to him, and it ends up being, if I go against him, he probably won't save me either. You know, like, so it becomes horrible, I think, after a while.
Are you sure you should be doing this, Master Wayne? What did you say? Go ahead, go out, kill him. Fine, it's fine.
Yeah, basically. Oh, good God. Oh, and by the way, so as we wrap things up, I really did not like the end when Rachel was explaining everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you felt about it, because the reason why I didn't like it, right, is because here's how I know she was saying it all to Bruce, and I understand that, right? Yeah. But it felt too much like, you know, she may have just looked at the camera and said, and I quote myself, fucking symbolism. It's a fucking metaphor. You dense motherfuckers sitting in the front row of your local theater with your fucking popcorn, you stupid fuck. Symbolism. Like, you see what I mean? Like, that's how the last, like, everything wrapped up felt. It was just like, you know, like, literally, like, her looking at Bruce, like, you're not the man that I love. You know, it's like, no, the mask is you. Turns to the camera. Symbolism. It was a bit too much. Who are you talking to? Fair point. It was, yeah, so how did you feel about that? Because that's how it came off to me, and it came off very, like...
Same way. It was kind of like the whole Bat opera thing again. We didn't need it to be that heavy-handed.
Yes. But at least with the opera, like, imagine if the Bat opera was just like, and you will be Batman. And it was like, and little tiny Bruce is like, that's a good name.
I need to write that down in my Bat notebook.
So yeah, it was just like, that's how it felt to me, where like, it just felt like so like heavy-handed to the point where it's just literally her heavy hands are on his face. That's how far it got. Like, it was to the point where she was just like, wow, real Batman begins, am I right? Cuts.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're beginning your journey as Batman. Fucking Bale to the camera. Real Batman begins.
My God.
Yeah, no, it was really, yeah, that's how I felt about the end. Question, I remember a long time ago, we talked about Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and we talked about how in Batman Begins they had that little thing at the end, right, where they show, you know, like, hey, Joker's calling card, right?
Yeah.
To set up The Dark Knight. Did we ever mention, because I remember you telling me that they filmed that scene later.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't film it when they filmed the actual film. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
I only bring it up because Gordon felt like he forgot. I'm sorry. Not Gordon. God, how am I going to forget his name? I love Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Yes, Gary Oldman forgot his Gordon voice.
Yeah, definitely. You can pick that up even in the Dark Knight movie a lot. I mean, it
really?
would make sense.
It's
but
weird. I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't remember the Dark Knight movie, but I remember a lot of it was like he was really throwing out that like Chicago, New York. He really tried, and it felt like it was. Maybe I don't remember him doing monologues. I just remember him screaming a lot. But like it came off as like that was his voice, and he had that for most of the film. But at the end, when he was talking to Batman, it just did not feel like it was his Gordon.
No, I'm saying like he forgot the voice in The Dark Knight, not in Batman Begins.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
In
so
Batman
in The Dark Knight, it sounded better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, I liked it in The Dark Knight because it came off as like very like Chicago.
Mhm.
Not too much, not too heavy-handed there, but you know a little bit there. A little bit Chicago there.
I can't do that voice, but okay.
It's okay. A little bit of Chicago there. No, I'm gonna stop. The point is, there's a little bit of no.
What were we? Oh, the scene, right? I mean,
all you hear over it, you're gonna fucking try to go to bed tonight. You're gonna put like the covers over you. You're gonna close your eyes. You're gonna hear a little bit of Chicago there.
Call you up in 3 days. I haven't slept in 3 days. You son of a bitch.
You'll be like, no, please, no. All right, a little bit of Chicago there. No.
No, but I mean, thinking back, because the thing is, I didn't get to see Batman Begins in the actual theaters. I only saw it on DVD, so it could be possible that scene wasn't in the theaters, but I'm not sure.
Oh no, I don't mean it wasn't in theaters. I just mean like you know how constantly movies have reshoots or
shot it as the movie was being finalized and everything.
Potentially, or at the very least, I mean movies are filmed out of order.
Mhm.
I mean that end scene could have been one of the first scenes.
That's possible.
I'm just saying that his voice did not sound like it did in the rest of the film, which was weird. Because when I hear him, I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, Gordon?
It did seem a little out of place. I'm not sure when they filmed it, though.
Yeah, no, like his voice, again, to me, just sounded nearly completely different. And just fucking Batman's like, no, you don't have to mask your voice. That's just for me. Oh, really? It's not just me? No, you're good. You be you.
You're fine. You are the night. You're fine.
Yeah, you're great. I'm gonna be like the darkness. I'm gonna be the night. That's cool. You're good. All right. Batman out. I like Batman out as like the end, like deuces. Bat deuce. No, that didn't sound right. Guano. No, that one's weird too. So we're gonna have to end things here, but overall, yeah, you really enjoyed this film.
I love this movie. Probably my favorite Batman solo movie.
Yeah, that's hard for me to say because, like, I do enjoy, like movies that involve Joker and other villains. But I have to be honest, like, out of the Nolan trilogy, this is my favorite.
Definitely.
So far. And even though the next movie, it's going to be bad, so I'll watch the next movie again, and I'll be reminded of everything, and I'll be like, this is my favorite. But then I'll watch The Dark Knight Rises, and I'll be like, this one isn't my favorite. Fuck this one. But nothing will change that for me. Nothing. That's going to be the shittiest one out of these three. Without a doubt. Nothing will change that. Like, when we do that podcast on Dark Knight Rises, I'll sit back and go, it wasn't as bad as I remember. But, man, is it still bad.
Are we going to be doing that podcast in full-on Bane voice, or?
I don't know. We'll see what happens when we get there. We still have to keep on throwing in some Neeson every once in a while because, of our church. If you remember the church.
How could I forget?
Of course. Yes, we're the founders of, we are the Church of Neeson, right? We are the Neesonites.
Yes,
and,
we accept sacrifices daily. Yesterday, little Timmy sacrificed his Qui-Gon Jinn figure. Sacrifices are welcome.
So that's just how it's going to have to be. But yes, so, we're all going to have to make sacrifices. So,
in perfect world.
Yeah, right. In perfect world, we're going to have to fucking make sacrifices. We're going to have to wrap everything up here. We want to thank you all for listening in. As always, we're going to mention our merchandise that we have, cafepress.com/TGOTR merchandise. We're also going to mention, we have shirts on there. We have a bunch of different stuff on there that relates to not only our podcasts, but also our Let's Play. There are Let's Plays that are on YouTube. You search up Those Guys Play. Anthony and I have played a lot of things thus far. Just haven't aired yet, but we film stuff. We film. You and I have played Star Wars Battlefront. We've played Marvel Legends. Wait, Marvel Legends? No, Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects.
Yeah.
Marvel Legends is a real thing, though. Just not what we're talking about. But yeah, so we've played that and we're currently in season 2 of our Those Guys Play series, and we'll be moving on with that soon. So we'll be releasing some more episodes that we have stockpiled. So anyway, so we have that, right? Those Guys Play. We also have Matt Beats Games from his childhood, which is also on our Those Guys Play account, where I am Matt beating games from my childhood. We're currently beating Mega Man X, and as I said, you can watch that on our Those Guys Play account, or get some merchandise from our Cafe Press account. We also have our podcasts, as you're listening to one right now. I mean, I didn't know I was listening to one. Well, you are. Currently, we are located, we have our podcasts on Those Guys on the Radio, which is our YouTube account, as well as through many of our websites, our main website, which is thoseguysontheradio.tumblr.com, our Facebook, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, our Twitter, which is @ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, and our Instagram, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio. Also, we are on iTunes as well by searching up Those Guys Radio, and we also have TG News, a little bit backlogged on our TG News show, but our TG News show you can find through some of our social media accounts that I just mentioned, or by searching up TG Productions on YouTube. We currently have a TG News is a nerd news show that we do on a weekly basis, a little bit backed up, but definitely going to release some more soon, preferably in like a week wave. Just like, here's your last month of news. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You cameoed on it as well, on one of them. Yay. So, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, what?
No, I said, mm-hmm.
Yes, it will. Hope so. Yeah. Anyway, so we're, again, wrapping things up. Thank you for being on again, Anthony. I'm happy that I got to really find out the goodness, find the good in this movie. Because, again, I saw it when I was 13 on a school trip, like on a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw it again maybe a year later, but again, I was so into the idea of, no, he needs to be in the suit, that I didn't care about other parts of the movie that now I hate myself for not caring about. So, yeah, I mean, we're here. Anything you want to say before we cut the feed?
Just not really, no. I think this movie deserves a bit more credit than it actually gets, but that's about it.
Okay. So, I'll say that too, definitely. A lot of people jump to Dark Knight without watching this movie, and it's a little sad.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good film.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you all for listening in, and have a good night. So say good night, Anthony.
Have a good night, Lisa Nights.
Everybody. Batman.